we started to talk a little bit on the international aspect, right? So one of the other things that I've been looking at is real estate, as we know, for a number of years now in Italy, right? Specifically in Rome. But
Right.
over the past few months, I had started looking again and
You're
realized
always looking, dude. You're always looking
I
out there. I
know.
want you to buy something so I can go visit it.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's hard to buy something from afar. Um, so I think what I might do
100%.
come moving time is just go there, move there, rent a place, and then look while I'm there, right? So I could find what I want because I have a pretty good idea of what I'm looking for, right?
Right.
So, but anyway, over the past few months, the mortgage interest rates have gone up significantly. So before it was like between 1% and 2%. Now they've gone up to almost 4.5%. I think.
Wow.
I'll look up the
So it's gone up
mortgage interest
double, is
rates
what
right
you're
now.
saying, in
Yeah.
Italy, mortgage rates in a matter of what time period, like a year, 2 years, or what?
I mean, just over the past few months.
Wow.
Yeah, all of a sudden, and I'm not sure. I haven't had a chance to look into exactly why, but I mean, they've
Hmm.
gotten a new, prime minister who I think we might have mentioned before that people have concerns about because she has ties to like Mussolini and Mussolini's party. Um, but
Yeah, but besides that little snippet of what people want to cause issue with her,
right.
what else is there really that's causing an issue with the prime minister?
I mean, I think just overall global inflation. Oh, with the prime minister or the interest rates.
No, no, because you mentioned the prime minister being tied to a family background with Mussolini, but just because your past relative might have been someone horrible, or that especially that person was, yes, but doesn't mean that this prime minister is going to be similar to him. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I mean, not only for that reason, but mainly because of the party
Yeah,
lines, the ideology,
I
right?
thought you liked the prime
People had
minister, Nick.
people had
Like,
concerns. No, that was that was Berlusconi. Um,
that's funny.
and Berlusconi, I'm pretty sure he just passed, actually, um, unfortunately. So
Well, let me throw something out there though in terms of
let me fact check that. But just one thing on the
the
interest rates.
mortgage rates, though. Why it happened though? It's the
Yeah, well,
reason
well,
being
well, hold on,
probably.
just to give people a perspective. So
What's the
the
perspective?
value from last month, what it's at 4.23%, right? Change from last month, 1.89%. It's almost 2%. Value from 1 year ago, 3%. Um, so there's been a significant change just over the
So there's
past
been a lot of
few
ups and
months.
so you're saying a year ago was in the 3%, a month ago was a one some percent, and now it's in the 4%.
Right, correct. It's
That's
like four and a
crazy.
quarter.
Yeah, I don't know much about how mortgage rates work in Italy though. So
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you
I
know,
think just we would have to look more into this, but I'm pretty sure the global economy, global inflation. I mean, they've always been
right,
highly inflated, but I think it's just globally it's catching up uh, to them. But I think that there's also other things that's going on with the EU,
right.
especially as it relates to climate change and carbon.
Well, I think what it really is because like the U.S. is benefiting in a way right now in terms of inflation is coming down to some degree, as we had mentioned earlier. Um, but that's not to say the world economy, all these other countries are actually still facing inflation issues. I think the Bank of England even said that the central bank chairperson there, I don't know if it's a woman or man, but either way, they said they're probably going to keep raising rates to fight inflation. I think probably Italy's facing that same issue right now as well, especially with the immigration situation they have as well. That's all causing inflation in other countries more than here. So that's probably why the mortgage rate has been crazy out in Italy, is my imagination of what's probably going on. So that's too bad. So maybe you should probably call a realtor and see what their perspective is in Italy. See when you should probably buy, because I don't know if it's affected home prices out there. Have you noticed?
No, it has. I mean, the prices have been increasing, over the past few years, obviously, but I
Right.
think they, I would say over the past year, from where I've been looking in the middle of Rome, I mean, I see at least over the past 2, 3 years, I see a difference of give or take maybe an average of 100K.
An increase?
Increase, yeah. So things that were like, mid
Mhm.
300s before are now mid 400s or above.
Wow.
And probably over
Yeah.
the past year, maybe, I don't know, I would say maybe a 20%, 10 to 20% increase at the least.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
Oh, you know what I was gonna say too? The inflation probably it's the situation with the Ukraine war as well. I mean, that's causing a lot of
yes,
commodities out in Europe to freaking skyrocket. It's not really affecting the U.S. as much, considering many things. You know.
right, right, exactly. Because um, the gas prices there are highly being affected, which affects everything else,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because they're shutting down the pipeline supply of both,
Hmm.
you know, gasoline and natural gas.
Right.
So it's definitely affects things for sure. I don't know. Let me see if are you able to see my screen?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Wanted to see if that might work, but
But we should do this again,
oh,
and,
here we go.
maybe you can talk to Italian realtor out there and see what they might have to tell you about prices out there, because that might be a place to escape to. You know, especially like you said, if the deficit keeps growing and all things like that, maybe some people may want to go to Italy. I mean, it sounds like you will.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
happen.
true.
So we should get some ideas on how real estate's affected in Italy per se with what's going on right now, if home prices will probably fall or not. But when I was in the Amalfi Coast for my honeymoon, I was
Yeah,
talking
I
to
was gonna ask you.
yeah, some of the guys out there, the bartenders and the drivers, and they were telling me that the prices are going up. So I think it's kind of to what you're saying about Rome.
Mhm. I mean, everywhere. I mean, see, before COVID, right? Not as many people could work remotely. It was harder to actually buy in places like that and find a stable job, right? Nowadays, everybody's able to more or less work remotely, if you're doing one thing or another. And there's a million different ways to make money online now, start your own online
Hmm.
business, remote business, right? So that has definitely had an impact on prices and availability there for sure. Because I mean, how many people's dream is it to go own a house in Italy, right? So
Right.
I do know a Italian realtor who's been doing this a long time. She actually moved from Australia and she's created a whole community around this. But um, her her business, from what I've seen, is booming. I mean, things just go off the market so quickly now.
Right. Well, a
So
lot of international people are buying their second and third home out there too.
yeah, right. But it doesn't even have to be their second or third home, right?
Right.
People could just more easily up and move now than ever before in the history of
Yeah.
humanity, civilization,
Right, but
really.
at the same time, there's a lot of well, not all, but there's a lot of jobs that are requiring people to come into the office now. So it's not like people can work from home all the time. I
Some,
mean,
yeah,
some
yeah,
jobs
yeah.
you can.
Yeah, I would say okay, before maybe it was 80, maybe 90%, right, of people and jobs that you can't work remotely. Now, I would say maybe 40%.
I think it's
And
less.
there's so many ways to make a living online now. I mean, whether it's like
Right.
affiliate and digital marketing, creating your own online business, being a coach for this, a
Hmm.
coach for that, right? I mean,
But that's having multiple jobs, not just one job. Like you
no,
gotta.
no, that's doing that full time.
Yeah, but no, I get that. But for the overall people in the U.S., they're not doing that. I mean, yes, there's a
Mm,
lot, but it's easier said than done. Is my point.
I Yeah, I mean, anything requires work, but there's so many
Yeah.
more people doing it now. I mean, I know you're not plugged into that space because you just focus on your real estate business,
Right.
right? But
Right. And then the other
if
thing with
anybody does
renting.
their due diligence and research, you'll see there's there's a huge population doing this now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
I
but
I
I mean,
wanna see you start doing it though, Nick, come on. I know
no,
you're
I
doing
know,
it
I
on
know.
the side.
That's
Now you gotta
exactly
make
what
it
I've
full time.
that's exactly what I've been work I actually just started an affiliate and digital marketing course
No way.
to
Is that
get
with
set up. Yeah, so
uh-huh.
we'll see. Might start creating some additional content on my end.
Good.
But we'll see. There's a lot of pans in the fire that I have, because Varsh and I, so our other friend, also working on 2 biotech startups, and one of them is starting to really ramp up. So hopefully we'll be rolling on our first pilot client pretty soon. So that's also taking quite a bit of time outside of my full-time job as well. So, but we'll
Just don't
see.
let your job hear this podcast, so I don't want them knowing that you're planning on exiting.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure they don't watch this.
Yeah. No exit.